Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for today. So let's talk about a company I've only talked about once on this channel. It's a company, a stock that has outperformed 6 out of the 7 Magnificent 7 stocks. What are those? Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, Nvidia, and Tesla. Now the only stock that has outperformed this company this year is Nvidia. No surprises there. Also, by the way, after the market closes, Nvidia's earnings report will cover that on this channel. Now, this company is a company that probably all of you watching know, and that's the little bird one. Not Twitter, but actually Duolingo. Yes, Duolingo is up 200% year to date. Last 3 months, it's up 68%, and since last year, it's up 207%. And by the way, despite being up 200% year to date, its forward PE is much lower than at the start of the year. Currently, we're at 77.2 times, so yes, still pretty high, but compared to its mean of 122.6 times, much cheaper. Same could be said here for EV to EBITDA. Price to sales is one that is more expensive. We've seen that with a lot of other companies as well. Price to free cash flow, that's in the last 12 months, we are also much lower there, 79.1 times compared to 95.1. Now, if we look at the overall trajectory of its financials since June 2020, pretty good. Revenue continues to go up, free cash flow positive most, if not all, quarters, and a big rise in the last couple of quarters. Return on equity is making its way towards a more positive area here. We're now at negative 1.7%. Gross profit margin also making its way up, 73.2%. Return on capital, same as return on equity, making its way towards a more break-even area. Now, of course, Duolingo might not be your type of investment, but sometimes, yes, sometimes you have to look at certain companies and say, this looks pretty interesting, although very, very simple, right? It's an app that teaches you a new language, now also adding math and music, and maybe in the future even more. Who knows? So with regards to the new announcements, of course, this will also add new users, can maybe monetize existing users as well. So starting today, this was November 9th, starting today, learners on only iOS, sadly, can easily switch between the new music course, updated math course, and more than 40 language courses. Adding new subject makes Duolingo more valuable and more attractive to more learners, increasing motivation to practice every day, come back to learn after a break, or use Duolingo for the first time. They say here that studies show that learning music helps with reading, verbal, listening, and math skills, and can even delay cognitive decline associated with aging. Though music education has many benefits, more than 3.6 million students in the United States lack access. For those wanting to pursue further instruction, private lessons can cost up to $400 per session. Now, of course, you're not going to be a Mozart or a Beethoven when you go on Duolingo. No, it starts with the basics, but at least you learn the basics. You learn to read notes. You actually learn to hit the right key as well, although it's on a digital device, not on a real device, which maybe in the future they'll make it compatible with a, electric piano or stuff like that. Could happen. But hey, this is another way to attract new users on the platform and monetize even more. With regards to math skills, same thing there. I think we are now at a time where maybe more younger people will need to learn a bit more of math, and doing so in a fun way, in a more accessible way, is definitely the way to go. Now, before jumping into their latest quarterly earnings, if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, would really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Alright, so daily active users for this quarter increased 63% year over year to 24.2 million. Monthly active users increased 47% to 83.1 million. Then paid subscribers increased 60%, and paid subscriber penetration as a percentage of monthly active users is now at 8% compared to 7.4% same quarter last year. As for the financial metrics, revenue increased 43% year over year. So yes, this is one of those high growth stocks compared to the previous high growth stocks that are just growing now single digits or maybe 10-12% or so year over year. Duolingo still increasing, and this is even after the pandemic period, even after that high growth push. So that's pretty remarkable. Total bookings increased 49%, so that is outpacing actually revenue growth. Net loss, in this case net income, $2.8 million. Adjusted EBITDA, $22.5 million with a 16.3% margin compared to a 2.2% margin same quarter last year. Now looking even further here, so total bookings, like we said, $153.6 million. Subscription bookings is at 121.3. That actually increased more than total bookings, 54% year over year. Then with regards to gross profit, that increased 45% year over year. Gross margin here, 73.7%, approximately an increase of 100 basis points. As we've seen before, net income went from an $18.4 million loss to $2.8 million of profit here. Net cash from operating activities, $37.7 million, so that's way more than a 100% increase year over year. Free cash flow has increased from $6.1 million same quarter last year to $33.5 million this quarter. So again, pretty remarkable what this under the radar company is doing, because I'm sure all of us have heard of Duolingo, but did you also know that this is a company that is operating very, very well, growing pretty fast and in a very much profitable way? Probably not. Now, I did want to show you some extra things here. So advertising on the platform has increased for total revenue 10% year over year. Duolingo English test, pretty popular, that has increased 30% year over year. And then the other category here increased 86% year over year. What is the other category? Well, this is primarily including in-app sales of virtual goods. I mean, this is almost as much as advertising and as much as the English test. Then with regards to operating activities on a GAAP and non-GAAP basis, you can clearly see that year over year, this has come down. The majority of the expenses still go to research and development, then G&A, and then sales and marketing. And so if we compare Duolingo stock to the Magnificent Seven, this year, year to date, it's up now actually 196.8%, so probably a red day. It has outperformed Meta, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and Apple. The only one that has outperformed everyone here is NVIDIA at 239.6%. Again, this might go up more or down depending on the earnings report. But purely looking now at Duolingo, of course, you can see this huge green candle here. This is when they reported their quarterly earnings, which, as you've seen, has been very, very good. Then it has continued 2 weeks of green, which means we are still here in the overbought area. Now, by the way, if you want to know, the previous all-time highs here were $200. So again, that round number, $200, always a funny thing to watch. Now, if you're looking to open a position at, I would definitely look and see if there is any weakness happening, if it can retest that previous all-time high at $200. If it breaks down, then yes, look at the 20 and the 50-day moving averages, which right now are at $190 and $171 respectively. Then if you want to go way lower, 200-day moving average at around $145, which is, of course, way under what it is today. So as you can see, sometimes even something as simple as a teaching app such as Duolingo can be a great investment. Not everything has to be about big tech, AI, stuff like that, even though you have here tech and AI as well. I mean, who would have thought that at the start of the year that Duolingo would outperform all those big tech companies? Probably not a lot of people, myself included. I mean, I use Duolingo, but I never thought that this would have turned out to be such a great investment. But hey, that's the thing with the stock market. Sometimes you need to dig a little bit deeper to find those little gems. But as I said throughout this video, yes, the stock has run up a lot, like we've seen. Can it go higher? Of course it can go higher. But you always have to look for maybe a little pullback to increase your position, open your position. As I said plenty of times on this channel, I rather buy on a red day than on green ones. That's why you get a bit more margin of safety. But if you're in it for the long run, I mean, right now they have been executing quite well. They're growing very fast and in a profitable way. Not a lot of companies, especially not those companies that have gained a lot of momentum throughout the pandemic, not a lot of those did continue that momentum, but Duolingo has. So that will be it for this video. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.